What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Eat What You Sow with Co. Today, we're going to do tofu 4 ways. We're going to do air fried tofu, we're going to do tofu crumbles, or also known as like tofu scramble, but you could also do like crumbles for like tacos and stuff like that. We're going to do fried tofu, fried dry tofu, and we're also going to do marinated seared tofu. So, super excited to have you here with me, you guys. So let's get started. It's going to be a busy freaking episode. For the scrambled tofu, I put it in a tofu press. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I like to. So I put it in this tofu press for a couple hours just to get some of the excess fluid out. So if you have a tofu press, great. If you don't, then you can use like books or whatever, something heavy. There's multiple ways you can press tofu, but this does help with getting the liquid out. This tofu right here, you do not need to press this tofu. This is seriously the best freaking tofu. Like, I am obsessed with this freaking tofu. This tofu is my favorite freaking tofu, and like, I eat tofu all the time. This stuff is seriously the bomb, you guys. Seriously the bomb. Like, it's super firm. It's Sprouts brand. And this stuff is flippin' excellent. Okay, guys, so we're gonna start out with a tofu, like crumbly tofu. I'm just gonna add some olive oil to this pan here. Now, I've never cooked freaking tofu scramble on this thing, so hopefully it cooks the same as the stove. Okay, this used to be plugged into an extension cord. Dave must have done something with the freaking extension part. So hopefully I can figure this out without like setting myself on freaking fire. Okay. Okay, wait. Lefty loosey. So which way is to my left? That way's to my left. Nope, that way's to my right, Corinne. You gotta turn them both to the left. Okay. Now for this one, I'll show you guys above the tofu I'm using for the tofu scramble. You can use the other tofu as well, but I'm using this one. Okay, we're loose. All right, so here's our block of tofu. Come out. Come out. Look at our nice little block of tofu here, all pressed up. Do you guys hear that? There's a freaking windstorm going through Vegas right now. We're just gonna crumble our tofu into this pan, like this. I'm not gonna go all out because I'm just trying to show how I make 3 different types of tofu in this episode, but I am gonna make this like eggs, but I'm not gonna add the normal stuff. Normally when I make a tofu scramble, I'll add like mushrooms and spinach and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do another episode for that, but for this I'm just gonna show you how I season it when I make eggs. And if you wanted, you could make like taco meat with this or whatever. It doesn't need to be pasta meat, you know, lasagna meat, whatever you want to do, whatever plant meat you can do with the crumbles. But I just wanted to show you how I make actual like crumbles. Look at all of our water that's squeezed out of that tofu. Oh man, this is risky. See the water? Okay, I gotta pour it. Okay, so we're just gonna let that in there. Get all your little crumbles going. All right, so even if I wasn't seasoning this as a tofu scramble sort of thing, I would still season it with smoked paprika. Now, if you guys watch me, then you already know that smoked paprika is the best thing in the freaking world, you guys. Seriously, like, smoked paprika is a game changer for everything. And it's especially freaking good on freaking tofu. So, my recommendation with my like tofu covered freaking fingers is always use smoked paprika whenever you're cooking really freaking anything. I feel like you're never going to use too much smoked paprika, just saying. All right, and I'm also going to use some turmeric. I don't know, probably like a teaspoon of turmeric. If you're doing tofu scramble, I would use turmeric. Now, I'm going to use about a teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. Also going to put some black salt on there. Or I'm sorry. I said black salt. black pepper, but I'm also, which, why does it smell like it's freaking burning? Let me stir this. Get distracted talking about seasonings with you guys. Ooh, looks so good. The other trick, you guys, if you are making tofu scramble, like egg-like, black salt is the trick. Like, this gives it an eggy sort of like flavor, and it makes your whole freaking house smell like eggs. Just an FYI. This stuff goes a long way though. You don't want to use a bunch of this stuff because I've done that before and it gets like really salty tasting. So, I'm just going to sprinkle some on there, not a ton. And I'm also going to use like one of my other freaking favorite things in the world, nooch, which who doesn't freaking love nooch? I don't know. So if you're new to veganism, nutritional yeast is the bomb. Like, it gives a cheesy sort of flavor to stuff. So pastas, potatoes, eggs, whatever you're like cooking that you want to taste cheesy, nooch, also known as nutritional yeast, is definitely like a good thing to have. Yes, it has a freaking really like weird and scary sounding name. But this stuff is delicious. So you just want to keep stirring up your tofu. So it really depends on like what you're making this tofu scramble for. If you're making it for egg consistency, like you're probably not going to cook it as long. But if you're making it for like a ground sort of thing, like tacos or whatever, you can cook it longer. So it's really up to you. But the key to making good tofu is seriously just to fry the hell out of it. Like, that is the trick to tofu. Alright you guys, so we've been cooking this for about 13 minutes on medium heat. Now like I said, if you're doing it for whatever purpose, but I want it a little bouncy still because this is our, damn it, that was the wrong bowl. I wanted to use that freaking bowl, damn it. Because I'm using this for like a tofu scramble, I want it to be a little bouncy still so it resembles the egg texture. But I think we're about done. So I'm just going to put this in a bowl. It's super easy. Tofu is so freaking easy to make, you guys. And it's freaking tasty. I used to not like freaking tofu, but now that I know how to freaking make tofu, and I'm sure there's people that know how to make tofu better than me, so I'm sure like the pros are probably like telling me this is not how I make it, but this is how I make it, and I actually really freaking like it. But I used to hate tofu until I learned how to freaking make it. So here's our tofu scramble. I almost just dumped this whole thing on the freaking floor, but you see it looks pretty like good. That one's done. So now we're gonna do my favorite freaking one, which is fried freaking tofu. So you guys, there's multiple ways to cut tofu and fry it. I have actually fried like thick strips of tofu and put it in a Buddha bowl, and I'll post a link. I did that on my dollar store items episode where I actually fried a strip of it and put it in this little dollar store noodle thing. But anyway, so it is possible to fry a strip. It's gonna be the same method, just a little longer time. But for this one, I'm actually gonna fry cubes like this first. So we'll do this, and then we'll get the marinated one and fry that one as well. Okay, so like I said, this one is my freaking favorite, which is like fried tofu. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil in the pan again. I use always, no matter what I'm freaking making, except for tofu scramble, I put freaking minced garlic in there, and I put a lot of freaking garlic because, like, who doesn't freaking love garlic? I don't know. But if you don't like garlic, I don't know what to say because that's very odd to me. So anyways, I'm putting a freaking tablespoon of garlic in this thing because garlic's the freaking bomb. So I think, move my hair. Oh, you know, sometimes I just want to shave my freaking head. My hair is like so out of control.
Out of control. This onion's out of control.
Hey, 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 out on the floor.
She loves a DJ. I don't remember the song.
She knows a bottle. She pops a bottle. She f***ing models. Tell them what these ladies like that monkey. So for this one, I think what I want to do is I want to do like a curry sort of kind of one. So, but you can season this however you want, you guys. But I would definitely always put minced garlic because I freaking love garlic. Put our cubes in there. And again, like I said before, you guys, no matter what, I would be adding smoked paprika because smoked paprika gives it like a smoky flavor. And I freaking love smoked paprika. I don't know what more I can say. Like, how many more positive things can I say about smoked paprika? I'm not sure because my vocabulary is not extensive enough to accurately describe how much I freaking love smoked paprika. And then I'm gonna put some curry powder in this one. Now I'm only using, this is only half of the tofu. So if you're using a full block of tofu, you might want to double this, whatever the measurements are, but this is only a half. Then I'm gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of freaking cumin. And then I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. And then I'm just gonna grind some black pepper on here, as much as you want. The thing about tofu is it picks up whatever seasoning is around it, or whatever flavors around it, that's what the tofu picks up. So if you don't like very flavored stuff, you can lessen the flavoring. That's totally fine, but for me, I like heavily flavored stuff. Oh, that tofu chunk's like really thick. Let me cut you. Now it's all uneven and ugly. Fry this thing up. So I know a lot of people when they fry tofu, they use cornstarch, and I used to do that also to fry tofu, but I feel like with this type of tofu, the extra firm, super firm Sprouts tofu, like I feel like I don't really need to do that to make it crispy. So if you don't have that tofu, I would recommend coating your tofu in cornstarch first and then frying it in a pan, and you'll get that extra crispy sort of like flavor to it. Also, is my hair on fire? I smelled something burning. Oh my god, that was freaking scary. Oh my god. Okay, so also, now I forgot what I was saying. I was gonna tell you guys something else, and now, because of the fear of the burning fire, I've forgotten what I was gonna freaking say. What was I gonna say? It's like that Ellen DeGeneres like comedy thing, which if you ever watch that's super funny, but she talks about how, have you ever forgot what you were gonna say while it was coming out of your mouth? Like that happens to me on a regular freaking basis, guys. Regular basis. So you wanna fry it on medium heat. You don't need to turn it that often. My chunks are not totally the same size. They're not as pretty as a lot of people that cook tofu. A lot of people, you know, they'll be very careful about how they turn it, but I'm not trying to make some like award-winning freaking tofu right now, but and then you just let this stuff fry. Like that's the thing about tofu. Just fry the hell out of it. That's it. Get the water out and fry the shit out of it. Look at that. Look at that crispy little bitch right there. Oh my god, look at that. Look at how pretty that is. So you just want to let them sit for like a minute or two on each side and then flip them and then check them. Like I normally will pan fry tofu for like 10 to 15 minutes. I feel like if you're starting out, it's easier to like do squared tofu because it's just easier to make sure it's cooked all the way around through. Also, the key with tofu is don't overload the pan. Make sure there's enough space for every tofu piece to like hit the pan. So that's another key for frying up tofu, where all of the pieces get pretty fried up. Listen to me sounding like a freaking pro. Like, I am sounding like a freaking pro right now, and I apologize to all of like the professionals out there that probably think that the way I cook tofu is really like not the right way of doing it. But for me, this I think is tasty, guys, and Dave approves, and Dave is a freaking harsh critic. So for me, this is the way I do it, and I actually feel pretty confident in my tofu making freaking skills. And that in pasta is probably the only like level of confidence I have in cooking any freaking thing. Oh, and I'm also freaking good at nachos. Eventually I'm gonna do a nacho episode. So our tofu's looking pretty crispy, I must say. Oh my god, that's so pretty. It also helps with the garlic because it fries up the garlic also, and that sticks to the tofu. I just freaking love tofu, you guys. Making my professional freaking tofu with my like professional little glass bowls here. Although professional tofu, they'd probably all be the same size, but you know, whatever. It's me we're talking about here, guys. Okay, so here's our crispy freaking tofu. Look at this thing. Oh my god, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot. Look at how like pretty that is. Like, you see how it's all like charred and stuff? Okay, I'm gonna try to pick it up again. Look at that. Look at that. Ow, 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 ow. So that looks pretty freaking tasty. All right, so let's do the marinated tofu now. So same thing, we're gonna start some oil. Again, I'm gonna put some freaking minced garlic in here. I'm doing 1 teaspoon of that. So I'm just gonna pour that in there with our marinade. So some of it kind of broke in half, so let me cut the other half. So that's definitely not freaking fancy, you guys, just an FYI, but. So the tofu's been marinating for about 3 hours. You can also marinate it overnight if you want, but I did 3 hours. So I feel like you can air fry marinated tofu too, but I feel like I like it best when you pan fry it with like the marinade that it was sitting in, plus then there's no food waste. Normally what I would do is after I pan fry it, I would pour it all on some like cauliflower rice or regular rice, whatever you want to do. And it's freaking tasty and you don't lose any of the marinade. This is the marinade that I'm using for this. You guys can use whatever you want. I really like teriyaki also with tofu. I like all marinades, honestly. I had so much marinade in this one, I didn't need to pour oil in here. I didn't realize how much excess marinade I had. So if you have excess marinade, you don't need to pour oil in there. So I probably could have done without the oil, and I'm sorry these chunks are so freaking ugly. But I just cut them with the spoon because I'm freaking lazy. So anyway, if you want prettier chunks, like use a knife like an actual professional. So this one I'm gonna cook with just the marinade, and I'm not gonna use the smoked paprika, which is very surprising. I know, guys. We're just gonna let that sizzle up in the marinade. It just doesn't feel right to me to cook without freaking smoked paprika. It just doesn't feel right. And no, I do not have stock with smoked paprika, although I freaking should. Like somebody from Smoked Paprika, which I know Smoked Paprika like isn't an actual company, but anyway, if there's a company out there that like that focuses on smoked paprika, you guys probably should sponsor me because all I freaking do is talk up your product. Finally starting to suck up some of that marinade. Look at that crispy thing right there. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Look at you, you little crispy bastard. Look at you. Oh man, you look pretty. Look at that. That looks so pretty, right? Doesn't that look freaking pretty, guys? I don't know. Looks pretty to me. If you can't get excited about freaking tofu, what can you get excited about, really? How crispy that is without freaking cornstarch. Cornstarch does work though. It does make it crispy, but I feel like I don't need cornstarch when I use this tofu. But if you guys want it like extra like crunchy outside and stuff, you might want to use the cornstarch. All you do is like, you know, just coat it in cornstarch. But look at that. Look at how pretty that looks. Look at that thing. Oh my God. So pretty. Yeah, I may have just spit all over this. I'm not sure. That one bothers me that it's like hanging off. Its arm fell off or whatever body part that is. How many times am I going to freaking burn myself, guys? How many freaking times? This one has a ton of flavor, guys. Ton of flavor. Okay, so here's our pan-seared tofu. Look at that. Look at how freaking pretty those little tofus are. Like, those look freaking delicious. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Those look bomb. So now, our final round of tofu, we're gonna air fry some freaking tofu now. I'm gonna cut this package up. I'm sure you guys don't need to see this. Okay. And like I said, if you wanted, you guys could actually press your tofu. I did not press this tofu because look at that pretty firm thing. Look at that. I push it and hardly any water comes out of it. That's how freaking firm this freaking tofu is. Okay, so I'm gonna cut the tofu into cubes. I'm sorry for everybody that's like irritated that my cubes are not perfect, but I promise you they're not going to be perfect cubes. You're watching me, you guys. You're not watching some freaking master chef. But I promise you, taste-wise, well, I can't promise. I should never make the promise that it's going to be good taste-wise. But I think it's going to be good. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to save this. I'm actually going to cook this later, because the space on my air fryer, I don't want to overlap the air fry. So here's what I'm going to do, you guys. Because we're air frying it, and I would say out of all the tofus I make, this is the one I make the least. Like, I like the pan fried or the pan seared or the tofu scramble the best. But this one has no oil. So for this one, I'm going to do like a Cajun one. I'm going to start with 1/2 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, and then I'm gonna do, of course, smoked paprika. So, oh my God. Seriously, I've been doing so good, like have not spilled this entire freaking episode till just now. All right, so I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Yeah, it's a lot of smoked paprika, guys, but you know, I freaking love smoked paprika. What is going on with this thing? I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of garlic salt. Is this the one I added? I said Cajun. Did I add the Cajun or did I add the other one? Oh my God. Now I don't know if I added the chili powder or the Cajun. I think I actually added chili powder. Okay, well, hopefully I freaking added chili powder, not Cajun, and I'm not adding more Cajun. Oh man. You know what? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me try it. Let me try it. Okay. I think that's chili powder. So I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. 1/2 teaspoon of, what is this? Onion powder. And then I'm just gonna grind some pepper in here. All right. Now, before I put it in the air fryer, I'm just gonna mix this up so it gets all like seasoned. Oh, where are you going? So, what are you doing? I guess it would make more sense to actually mix the seasoning first and then put the tofu in it. That would probably make more sense, guys. That's probably what you should do. Put the seasoning in a bowl, mix it together first, and then put your tofu in the bowl and move it around. Because now certain pieces are going to have certain flavors and the other ones aren't, but whatever. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Oh my God, how many tofus are going to jump out of here? Trying to escape. All right, so let me wash my like nasty fingers. Okay, so after you got the thing all mixed up with whatever seasonings you want, this is just the seasonings I'm using, but you guys can use whatever you want. You're gonna put them in the air fryer, and I might have too many cubes. You don't want them to like overlap each other. So you wanna put them in here where they're flat and they're not like on top of each other. What? Did you guys just see that? That tofu freaking escaped. So I actually definitely have too many cubes here. I overestimated cube like volume. So I have to save some of these cubes and air fry them later. Okay, that's about all the cubes we're doing, guys. So I'm gonna put those in the air fryer for about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, while those things are cooking up, let's do fun facts. I bet you guys can guess what fun facts are gonna be about. Okay, you guys, while our tofu is like air frying in there, let's look for some fun facts about, you freaking guessed it, tofu. First fun fact about tofu. Tofu is closely tied to Buddhism. The spread of tofu to Korea and Japan coincided with the spread of Buddhism. Oh my God, I cannot talk. Buddhism believes that killing has negative karma implications for the afterlife. As a result of this belief, many Buddhists are vegetarian. Japanese Buddhist priests are responsible for bringing tofu back to Japan. Second fun fact about tofu. Tofu is a Japanese word. The name tofu is a Japanese term that is derived from the Chinese word doufu, that literally means curdled bean. Third fun fact about tofu. Tofu is good for you. Tofu is low in calories per serving, and it is a great source of protein, iron, and depending on the coagulant used, calcium or magnesium. Bonus fun fact about tofu. A Chinese legend holds that tofu was first created 2,000 years ago when a Chinese chef accidentally mixed soy milk with seawater. All right, you guys, there's your tofu fun facts. So let's go back in the kitchen and check on our air fried tofu cube thingies. Alrighty, so let's get our tofu. Look at those things. And here's our air fried tofu. All right, you guys, so thank you guys for joining me. If you're looking for another great recipe, I'm gonna post a link to my Irish stew recipe above. That freaking stew is delicious and super easy. So if you guys have any tips on tofu, if you cook tofu and you have different tips, let me know below in the comments. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the circle of my face wherever I'm popping up on the screen. Also, please give me a thumbs up. Alrighty, you guys, I hope you guys have a great freaking day or night, whatever freaking time it is in your time zone, and I look forward to next time. Oh my God, I keep trying to put it on my tongue for a thumbnail and it keeps popping out.